Amelia. We are in Canada. But because I feel like I won't get this done soon enough, I'm going to film this now. You asked me to make another Talky Blog about how I just got my letters for HRT and some of the steps that I had to take. One of the reasons that I had to drive all the way out to Massachusetts just to get my letters is because I didn't have a gender therapist that I felt was like, well, there were some in Duluth, which is about 80 miles, so 160 miles round trip, and making that every week, every 2 weeks was not going to happen. So we decided to do phone sessions with this therapist out in Massachusetts. And in order for me to get my letters, I had to have a face-to-face consult. I was sure, I was mature, I understood the repercussions and all these things. So I mean, I've been talking to this therapist for almost a year now. It was kind of just like, alright, so I already know you're gonna get your letters, but I need to, by law, have a session with you. So because she was located in Massachusetts, I had to drive out to Massachusetts. And in the time period leading up to driving out there, for this road trip, the panic that I had was just ridiculous. I can't explain why I felt the way I felt. I really, really can't. I think part of it was the fact that this is a whole new chapter in my life now. I have the ability to start hormones as soon as I can find an endocrinologist, which, for people who don't know, is the endocrine system is the hormone system, and it regulates body systems. So I mean, it's it's something that you don't want to mess with. So for people who are illegally taking hormones, I mean, you're toying with the devil there. And I mean, even people who have it legally but don't have an endocrinologist, that's still pretty risky. So I mean, once I get an endocrinologist or somebody who's willing to not only check my levels but prescribe the hormones, I can start. And that makes me nervous. It's not because I'm questioning myself and second guessing myself. It's the fact that this is now a reality. The gate is open to my possibility of stepping into it and starting hormones. That's a big deal. It's a huge deal. And I think part of the reason that I'm so nervous is because I can start hormones, but they're not there. They're not ready for me. I don't have an appointment set. I'm waiting. I'm anxious. I want to start. But it's just I have more time to think about it, and I don't really want to. I know what I want, but I feel like if I have time to dwell on it, I'm going to start second guessing myself, which is annoying because I know that this is what I want. So some of the things that I had to do, I didn't really have to do anything. You have to live as your preferred gender or as your true gender for most people, a year. Some therapists will do 6 months, but I had already been living as a male for, I don't know, probably 6 months. So it was I was already halfway there. And by that, you have to use the bathrooms, you have to, all these things. That's the first real transition, it's the social transition. You're using the right bathrooms, you're dressing, and blah, 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 blah. So that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. And that was already done for me, and that was no problem. I'm confident in this transition, and I had to prove, which is unfortunate, but I had to make sure, you have to be safe. And you can't just screw around and be this is what I want, but I actually don't want this. So it was just kind of making sure and being confident. And that's the thing, is people are I don't want to have to go to a therapist, I just want to start hormones and blah blah blah. But it's especially if you ever get the chance, all of you read So Much Blues by Leslie Feinberg. It is a fantastic book. But there's a point where some of the characters, and this has happened so many times, but this was before you even had to get psychological help to do this physiological thing. people would start hormones, they would get the surgery, and then they decide that it's not what they want, and the percentage of suicides before having psychological monitoring was 45%. And that's a huge number. That is a huge number. So, I mean, it's a really annoying process, just because you feel like you shouldn't have to prove it, but it's necessary. So, I don't know, I mean, I'm nervous. I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm overwhelmed. It's like, holy crap, this is finally, like, I'm getting somewhere. And it's not just like I'm sitting around at home thinking, I wonder what bathroom to use at school now. So it's just, it's a big deal, and I'm excited, and I'm really excited to be going home and to like just process it all, because it's been such a huge adventure. So we're gonna go to Tim Hortons and drink coffee and maybe buy breakfast, because we haven't eaten like on this trip at all, and we really like Tim Hortons, and that's one of the things that I thank Canada for. So, and Michigan and parts of New York and other places. Good job on Tim Hortons, guys. That's what's up. So, Amelia, does that answer your question? I hope so, because I really don't want to have to redo this. But thanks for showing me interest in my life.